Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast. This is another episode on digging deeper, and today I have to admit it's going to be just a little bit different. Luckily, no morning this podcast, but I didn't really know what I was going to do for this little break in this podcast, but I definitely know now. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of backstory. Today I was in my social studies class, which is also my 7th period, and there's like our school. My class is right here, okay? Right here's my class. There's this little building right here that like the superintendent works out of. So the superintendent sees this guy trying to break into our school. So there's like a lot going on here, but they just all of a sudden randomly during class say, "Teachers, take your students into immediate lockdown." Lockdown and immediate got me. So we like all just kind of scramble behind the desk, and we ask Doctor. I'm not gonna say her full name, but Doctor, is this a drill or not? And she said, "I don't know, but I think it's real." And we were like, "What?" And I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting there praying, but I was like, my prayers were like, "Lord, please let this be fake or a drill or whatever, Lord. Let this shooter maybe come get arrested but not kill anyone or do harm to anyone or traumatize anyone." All of those prayers. And I also said, "Lord, you know what? Also at the same time, I'm okay with going and living with Charlie Kirk." So, anyway, of course, I do actually have some scripture today. By the way, this will be a Bible and a giveaway here soon. But, okay, so it's Isaiah 59, 1 through, I will probably read the whole entire verse of 59. Yeah, okay. Start. Surely the arm of the Lord is not too short to save, nor his ear too dull to hear. Earlier I read a version that I liked a little better. It was, "For the Lord can surely save. He hears you when you pray." I really like that, but your iniquities have separated you from your God. Your sins have hidden his face from you, so that he will not hear. For your hands are stained with blood, your fingers with guilt. Your lips have spoken falsely, and your tongue mutters wicked things. No one calls for justice, no one pleads a case with integrity. They rely on empty arguments. Their utter lies. They conceive trouble and give birth to evil. They hatch eggs of vipers and spin a spider's web. Whoever eats their eggs will die, and when one is broken, an adder is hatched. Their cobwebs are useless for clothing. They cannot cover themselves with what they make. Their deeds are evil deeds, their acts of violence in their hands. Their feet rush into sin. They are swift to shed innocent blood. They pursue evil schemes. Acts of violence mark their ways. The way of peace they do not know. There is no justice in their paths. They have turned them into crooked roads. No one who walks along them will know peace. That's Isaiah 59 through 8. So I really wouldn't have found this verse if some things hadn't happened. I did start a Bible study, and so I did a verse in Isaiah And then my friend was like, "Oh wait, can I do today's?" And she pulls out a verse in Isaiah as well. And then I was trying to tell my mom what the Bible study was about today. And I rather, whenever trying to find it, I accidentally scrolled across. I thought it was Isaiah 59. I went to read, and I was like, this is perfect for what happened today. So back to the actual story. We were in class. I think I was the only one probably that was not crying. And one of my friends looked at me like, help, we're about to die. And I just kind of looked at her back, and I just started going, or like, I was mouthing, pray, 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 pray. And then I forgot what verse it is. I think it may be a verse in Romans. But moral of the story is, I was just like, why am I such at peace with knowing that there could be a killer in our school right now? Like, I don't feel like I should be at peace with something like this. So as she's crying, and I've already talked to multiple of my friends today, and they've admitted that they were crying too, and I was like, why was I so at peace with this? Like, I don't feel like I should be at peace knowing this could be the end. So, like, I literally just prayed, and the prayer weren't even for myself, but I have a thing on prayer here later, so I'm gonna try not to get too in depth on prayer because I want to save some for me in the future. And no, to be completely honest, I don't really know where I'm going with this podcast. I have not planned it, but just how perfect that was that I found that verse whenever I did, and so much more. Where is it? There's a verse off. But it's, at first I was mad at somebody who would do something like this. And kind of going back to Charlie Kirk's death, I was mad that somebody would kill Charlie Kirk, or did everything that's just going on with that right now. And then I found the verse. It's in Romans, I think, and it just says, "Don't take revenge. Leave that for me." That's like the coldest Bible verse ever. Like, that genuinely scares me. Like, I do not want anybody else to take revenge on me now because of that Bible verse. And so I kind of have two main points for this podcast today, and one of them is God delivers you in a time of need, in a great time of need. He delivers you. And this Bible is here because you need it. He delivered this need whenever you need it. He delivered it to you from hands. So here's another verse out of Isaiah. It's Isaiah 35:4. Say to those with fearful hearts, be strong, do not fear. Your God will come. He will come with divine, he will come and save you, pretty much is the point of it. Is say to those fearful hearts, he will come and save you. And I feel like I was the fearful heart that needed this to be said today. And I wish I'd had this verse in my head, because I was just thinking today, God delivered me from the fire, and right now I wish I had some verses like just in the back of my mind ready to pull out and say to somebody. I really wish I did, but here I feel like it would have been really handy to have this voice or this verse in my head. Just be strong, do not fear. He will come and save you. Your God is there waiting to come and save you, and He is going to put you through rough things so that way you build a relationship. His life ain't gonna be perfect or even close to perfect. There's just so many verses that stuck out to me here recently, and it's just wild to me. If I can find it, I would love to share this with you. In case you can't tell. So here's another one, and Isaiah 49. Before I was born, the Lord called me. From my mother's womb, He has spoken my name. He made my mouth like a sharpened sword. In the shadow of His hand, He hid me. He made me into a polished arrow and concealed me in His quiver. He said to me, "You are my servant, Israel, in whom I display my splendor. I have labored in vain, spent my strength for nothing. Due to me is the Lord's hand, and my reward is with God." There's so much here again, and I don't think I can cover it all in this podcast if I'm being honest. It's just, we've done so little. We still get delivered by God's hand every time. And if we don't get delivered by His hand, well, we go to heaven. And I don't know if my Christians are with me. I am not scared of death. I am scared of the pain that might come with death. Like, if I die like Charlie Kirk, we're good. But I don't want to get shot in the gut, and bleed out to death in the middle of the woods. I'm just saying, okay? But God wants us to know that He's going to deliver us, no matter what, whether that is through death or if it is He's going to deliver us from the hand of the snake. Today He definitely delivered me. It could have easily went wrong. The guy who was trying to break in, he does not know it. But if he'd have turned around and wouldn't have went for that building, but rather for the students inside of my school, he could have killed a lot of students. A lot. So I know in the 8th grade hall, one of my friend's teachers, two of my friend's teachers, but the same teacher, and even shut their door. Their door was wide open during this school lockdown. And so he doesn't know it. If the building he was at, if he'd have went through, there's one door that's always unlocked in my school. I don't know why they don't lock it. They don't want to have to fool with getting up and letting kids in. They don't lock it. If he'd have just turned around and tried to go through that door, he would have gotten in, walked into a class that was unarmed, like nothing, ain't even got scissors, and he could have walked in and went and got into so many classes, and all uncontrolled classes. He doesn't know it. God delivered and said, "You're going to go here. My hand's going to be right here and right here and right here and right here." And he could have killed 500 plus students. I don't know if he even had a gun. I don't think he was probably the sharpest tool in the toolbox, to be honest. But I think it was just all a part of God delivering. And I think if he would have had a gun or anything, he easily could have gone through that door and gotten at the head of the teachers. So, anyway, God delivered me today, and he delivered Charlie Kirk to heaven, delivered me through that. And I know there's so much more. There's so many more and more dangerous school shootings out there, and obviously mine never actually came down to a shot, but it was definitely scary. It was definitely an adrenaline pumped day, and I respect those kids who are crying, because if my walk with Jesus wasn't where it is right now, I think I'd have been following. So I was semi proud of myself. I maybe could be a little prideful. Pride kills. But whenever I sat down, it should be my first instinct to start praying. Like so I am about a room away from, I am in a very far seat, very, very far seat. Whenever I realized what was going on, I stood up and walked over and sat in the middle of the crowd, because at this point they hadn't told us anything. And there's a little bit more I need to get to here, but I want to talk about prayer first. I kind of got caught up in verses, which is really hard to do, to be honest. So at that point, I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't be scared. I didn't know what to be scared of. So I walked over and I got there, and two of my friends were hugging each other, and they were up against the back wall, and they were just freaking out, and I started praying. No fear, just all praying. I think everybody around me, I don't know if there was one other person that didn't have a tear in his eye or her eye. So all that happened, and so we are trained at our school to not get up until a school official unlocks our door. So they straight up said, we thought it was we were actually about to die, because they called and were called on each and every class and was like, you're good, you can get up now, okay? And it was a different voice than that had said go to lockdown originally, completely different voice. I was like, oh my gosh. But so they said that, and we're like, no, we're not gonna get up. But then all of a sudden we hear a really big rattling sound, and all of a sudden we just see the light come through our door, and we're sitting there and we're like, what? And we hear, come out, just a hard come out. I was like, oh my gosh. So nobody moved. We were trying better than that. And so doctor she wasn't really hidden, but she was, so she just did that and was able to see him. It ended up being our school officer. We stood up and we all started crying tears of happiness. We're like, woohoo. And then at that point we still had no idea what it was. Our teacher was 100% sure it was 90% sure it was a real lockdown. And so we stand up and we go and we sit down, and all of a sudden somebody goes, where's Michael? I was like, what? Both of the kids. So I'm sitting like this, okay? My friend's in front of me, random kids behind me. There's one other kid right here, and both of these seats are empty. Both of those kids were here. So we were like, where are they? And they then as soon as we said that, came on the intercom and said, thank y'all for y'all's cooperation. It was a drill. And we're like, it's a drill? Okay, we're good. And we all started crying, laughing, because the two kids were really terrified. One of them ended up in the principal's office and was perfectly safe, and the other one had went to the bathroom, which was oh man, that poor kid. He started to walk out and he heard that, and he looks, and Miss Science teacher, that's what I'm gonna call her because I don't want to release her name either, it's struggling to get her magnet off and couldn't get it off, so he went under her arm and went and jetted in there, and went sat with his class. I was like, he's telling us this as he had just gotten back. And so he said, for teacher appreciation, I'll Miss Hill whatever she wants. But then, okay, I'm gonna skip back a little. Before he came back, all of a sudden they came back on and said, excuse me, teachers, that was not a drill. Thank y'all for y'all's cooperation, and nobody was harmed. And we're like, wait, what? What do you mean nobody was harmed? Was there any mortalities? So we like all started like crying again. Like, what? And this is all within like the same 30-40 minute period. Like 10 minutes before we got picked up. Anyway, I had to run across the parking lot to get picked up. I've never ran so fast with a friend. Never held anybody's hand running. I held her hand and me and her sprinted. That's what it is, okay? That's what it is. So anyway, yeah, pretty much. They come back on and we're like, yeah, that's not a drill. We were like, wait, what did you just say to us? What wasn't a drill? We had just experienced a real school lockdown. It hits different whenever you're there, okay? I promise you, it hits different whenever you're there, okay? Anyway, all of this, we were supposed to have it locked up the next day. Our lockdown's canceled, and I think we like went from crying to laughing there for a minute. But wow, God did deliver us really good because there were so many things that could have happened there, and so many things that could have went south there. And God is like, yeah, no, that's not what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna get to just stay hunkered down, have a little adrenaline rush, and put this in perspective. Monday, you're in band class, okay? And so it's like our school, a walk, band class. Like, it's a really far walk, and it's the high school. And then you go back and you go to intermediate school, and then across the road is MES, which is Massa Elementary School. And we were like, okay. But pretty much they said, teachers, check your email. And our teacher pulls out his phone, checks his email, and his eyes were like, he looked around and saw our other band teacher. We have 3 band teachers. Saw our other band teacher. One band teacher, he looked at the other band teacher and like looked at the door really hard. And so that band teacher went and like triple locked that door. And the other band teacher locked the door and was just like doing this out the window. And we were like, what on earth is going on? Why did the teachers need to check their emails? That's their way of saying most of the time something's wrong, but it's not super urgent yet. We were supposed to go into lockdown, okay? It was a man dressed in fully black sweatshirt, black face, everything, and had his hands in his pockets, and like, yeah, was just kind of wandering around the school. So we didn't even go to lockdown. We just kept our band class going. We locked all the doors. Choir locked their doors. Okay, so we were like, what? And later we figured out this creepy man in the parking lot, like, kind of close to the other school that we weren't even in. We had to walk back across there, but they were gone before we walked back. I don't think we would have walked back if something was wrong. Anyway, imagine hearing that, and then next thing you know, your school's on lockdown. Yeah, it hits different. But in the moment, I cannot explain. I still feel like I should have been a lot more scared, but if something goes wrong, we need to immediately come to God in prayer. We need to start praying. There, I believe it's in Philippians. There's a Bible verse that says, when you can't pray, tears are prayers to God's too. And I was like, that's what I should have told. Like, why don't I have these? I need to get these Bible verses dropped in my head. And like, I literally have one Bible verse, and it did not come in handy today. It's going to come in handy, but did not today. 1 Corinthians 8:3, those who love the Lord shall be made known by him. That's like, that's not the Bible verse I needed today, but needed eventually, right? Anyway, so today was kind of a little bit of an adrenaline rush, scary day. Oh, and get this. So to walk to homeroom, I walked by myself on the concrete about 20 foot from where the dude was caught. About 2.5 hours later. Okay, and so I get home, and I wasn't going to tell anyone. I was just going to kind of stay silent, but I heard the high school also went on lockdown, which is where my brother is. So I started talking to my brother, and he's like, yeah, I was outside in band practice. And I saw one police car pull up, two police cars pull up, just after hearing go on immediate lockdown. Yeah, that was fun. That was interesting. That me and him had very different stories, but we were both in pretty close contact with the guy. Yeah, but nobody was hurt, and I've got to say that was a God thing, like God thing. Have you ever heard of somebody trying to break into a school and nobody getting hurt, nobody coming in contact with that person, like direct? Because like there were a bunch of kids outside at the time, but nobody came in contact with them, so that's awesome. Awesome. I never want to do it again, but yeah, never want to do it again, but I guess it was significant. So, anyway, come close to God, because it'll be something I regret now for a while, not being able to pull a Bible verse off to all those who were afraid. And I am thankful that my walk was close enough with Him. I was able to just start praying and not really do crying or anything. But anyway, I never even started to get watery eyes. That's wild, because there were some people that were crying. Anyway, so draw close to God, because you never know whenever something like this is gonna happen. You never know the day you might get shot, the day an intruder might break into your school, the day an intruder might break into your work. You just never, ever know. So I recommend you get close and study this thing. Because it can lead you to a million different things. The Lord looks down from heaven on all mankind. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast, but more than enjoyed it, I hope this helped and it'll increase your walk with God. So make sure you go watch the original opening podcast and just be on the lookout for our Africa series. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Go to the Kingdom Park. Bye.